Chosen. It's an expansive science fantasy universe. The premise is that we've mapped out a gene we realize destines people for greatness. You may be a famous artist, or you may get superpowers. To date, there are 9 short works out across 3 anthologies. The first 2 are right here. And then there's actually 8 comics in 2 volumes. There's 4 in that one right there. I have the other one in the box in the back, but there's no more stands. So today we're going to talk about A Tale of Gems. This is the first 5 short stories that I released, starting in 2013, and then it was about 9 weeks for each one after that. The stories themselves are pretty eclectic. They follow different characters' interactions with 5 different sort of magical gems. The 5th story sort of wraps everything up. The characters are just as eclectic as the stories, right? They're all told in first person, so you get that character's sort of unique viewpoint on what's going on. The first character to start off the anthology is a 20-something pizza delivery driver. His story is really about how your parents sort of pull you in 2 different directions with what you end up doing with your life, right? So he likes delivering pizzas. It's what he's passionate about. I don't know why. That's just who he is, right? His dad owns the pizzeria that he works for, so his dad wants him to take over the pizzeria, and then his mom is actually a renowned supervillain, and she wants him to sort of go into that, right? The other stories are kind of all over the place. The third one's about a serial killer who's inducted into the sort of nationalized terrorist organization that exists in Chosen. They're really all over the place. So we can talk about anything else, I guess. There are comics, right? Comics tie directly into all the short works. They share characters and some plot lines and stuff. The comics star a character named Grizz. He's a subsidiary character in episode 2. His story picks up in the comics pretty much right after this one sort of ends. The short stories are all written to be relatively standalone, even though they follow the same sort of story arc, so you can actually read them in any order across any of the anthologies. These are all origin stories in this one. They're origin stories of major characters that exist in these short stories. So this first one right here is actually the main character in episode 1's supervillain mother. That's her origin story there, right? So, yeah, I've been building it since 2013. It's gotten pretty expansive. I've been doing shows. That's been going really great. Yeah. I didn't realize it was... Bam. That's it. Yeah, I didn't realize it was 10 minutes, I think. So we can go anywhere. Anybody.
What did your parents do to lead you to this genre?
That's a great question. So I don't know that they did anything. I actually got into comics really late in life. I didn't start reading them until I was 21. So it's like 6 years ago. Right, yeah. Actually, if you saw Captain America Winter Soldier, that scene where the woman's standing up at the funeral and she makes that speech about the plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and you tell them no, you move. That's actually a Captain America panel from when the Civil War happened in Marvel Comics. That was the panel that got me into reading comic books. It's really moving. I have a drawing of it in my house. So I sort of exploded with reading comics after that, and I'm super voracious. I read like 30 different comics a week, probably. Wanted to do comics when I started writing Chosen. It took a minute to get them off the ground. It took like 2 years before the first volume actually came out, so I already had 6 or 7 short works out. Plan to keep going. Just released a new volume of comics March 1st of this year. Gonna have some more out maybe in October. Working on short stuff all the time.
Are you the artist?
No, actually working with these artists out in Poland, or I did until this last volume came out. I'm going to be switching over to somebody else. Because everything is in first person, I want to make sure the artwork changes when I introduce a new character. So his story arc is done after that second volume, and then once we're moving on, I want to give it a fresh perspective with a fresh character, right? But I found them online. I got a really great deal with the exchange rate, actually. So, and I guess so did they. Like, I feel good about it because I'm really proud of the products, but they made out like $25K once you convert all of it. I paid like $4, so it's pretty good. I'm doing everything wholesale. I do everything wholesale unless I'm at a convention, right? So books are $4 and comics are $8, and I think that's it. Unless anybody else has.
Have you been to Comic-Con?
Yep. So not the one in San Diego, but there's lots of them actually. So our really great one is Amazing Comic-Con. It's here in June every year. Last year was my first year with a booth, and I have a booth again this year, which is really exciting. And I'll be out in Los Angeles for Comikaze in October.